I'm a sucker for gadgets. Every time I see something up on Facebook that's kind of unique, and the price is right, I might add, I'm always interested in it. And usually they don't work. Sometimes I get lucky and I can fix them. Other times I get burned. And this time, well, you'll have to find out whether I got burned or I got lucky. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, but this is quite a unique piece. And these were probably a few bucks when they were new. Let's check out what I got. This Denon professional CD recorder apparently has some issues. Don't know anything about it other than I'm told that neither side works. So we're going to try it out and see if I can get this one to run. So first things first, let's plug it in and see if it even turns on. And it does turn on, it says no disc. Okay, so that one opens up. Just try putting a CD on here and just see whether it reads anything. Oops. Okay, table of contents reading no disc. Oh, that didn't sound healthy, did it? Listen to this. Definitely does not sound healthy. What about the other side? Well, that sounds like it could be a belt that's broken on one side. Maybe the other side's got a belt that's slipping. Let's remove the top and take a look at it. Looks like the rack mount comes off, and there are other screws that hold the cover on. This doesn't have to have, that's got you kind of nice. If you're not putting it in a rack, you can just remove those. Well, my raw data is quite big, so we may be going for another marathon repair and getting into some more Carlson territory with this one. So this side's just a regular conventional CD player, and this is probably just a computer type drive, I'm thinking. Is it? Well, similar. Anyway, let's just first of all see why this one's making its noise. Now that we can observe it. I guess it might help if I turn the power on. Oops, pressed the wrong button again. Well, that spun up that time. Let's just see if we get any noise out of this unit. It's got multiple sets of inputs and outputs, but will it play or not? Says no disc. Okay, yeah, let's see why. Looks to be a fair bit of debris all around that lens, doesn't there? Look at all the dust. Oh my God. This might be why it's not reading. It's just filthy. There might be dust inside too that I may have to use compressed air, but we'll just try a disc again. Now that I've taken out some of the dust, maybe it will read. Oh, push the wrong button every time. Well, that fixed that side. That was just all covered in dust and dirt. Excellent. Even the display tells me the name of the track. Hard to see with all the lights on here, but it does read the name of the track. Okay, now that was easy. I wonder if this other side is going to be just as easy. This one sounds like a belt is bad, because we'll We'll just stop that from playing. Because this side doesn't open at all. It just makes a buzzing sound. So I think we may have a broken belt on this side. I just had to figure out how to go about getting the drive out of here. Looks to be held in by maybe some screws on the bottom. Looks to be there's a couple of screws down on the bottom here that might hold this in place. So let me just study this for a minute and see what exactly holds the drive in. I know it's got some plugs on here to unplug it, but let me just take a look and study this for a minute and see how the drive comes out. I'll start by just removing a few screws that are holding this bracket. It appears it has a bracket. So maybe if I remove these screws, the entire unit will lift out. Maybe these two up front here also need to come out, and then that might be all that holds this in place. And then I can just pull the entire deck out and unplug it, of course. And open it up and replace a bad belt. Is that going to lift this out? I think it does. Now, I may have to pull the front cover off of this. I probably do have to lift off the front cover. I got to pop that front cover off first. I'll undo both of these ribbon connectors, or edge connectors, or whatever you want to call them. Take those off first, just so that they don't get damaged. This should lift out. Pull the front faceplate off. See if I can loosen it up this way. I think I gotta get this front panel off. It lifts off. It's about that deep, and it lifts off, lifts straight up. But of course, I have to be able to get the disc tray out to do that. So I'm wondering if maybe I can pull the front panel off enough that I can just get some clearance. That might not work. After a lot of work, I finally got the nose piece off, so I should be able to lift the deck up now. I should be able to lift the deck up. Maybe something else is holding it, but oh, you know what? I think there's another screw that goes into this base. This one right here. Let's take that screw out. All right, now will it move now? Aha! There we go. Couple more plugs on the side here, and there we go. Okay, now the deck is lifted out. I'll just remove this ground screw from over here. Okay, now I got the CD recorder deck out. Let's see where that belt is that's broken. It's going to be in the front here somewhere for sure. Oh, you know what? Be able to push that open. I see a lever here that moves. This tray should pull out. I can see where the belt is broken too. It's right down here. I just got to get the tray out now. And I have to pull the drive open to do that, which means removing it from this bracket, and there's screws to go down through here to do that. So let's remove these two screws at the back here. These screws may have actually removed the drive without having to remove the plastic base. Okay, those two are out. Now what else is holding it up front? Oh, there's two more up front that I can't take out unless I take out the tray. Okay, well that was kind of a bad idea. So we still got to get the tray to open, and the tray appears to be kind of sticking, but I can see a lever that moves in here. Maybe if I move that lever over, it will open. See, there's a screw that goes down through, I guess there's just one screw. It's right through here. But, of course, you gotta have the tray out to get at it, because you access it through the hole in the middle. Bad design, I tell you. So I managed to get a screwdriver down through the top here so that I can unscrew the chassis from the base. Even if I can't get the screw out, at least now I can get the unit apart to see why it's jammed up, and open the unit up from the bottom here, and that way I can see why it's sticking and change that belt that's bad. That's the problem with this, is you can't get into it. If it's sealed up like this, you can't get the screws out to open the deck up. It's kind of a stupid design if you ask me, but then who asked me for design advice? Alright, now this top cover, or is it the bottom that's going to come off? One of these should come off. I've got the screws out. I think I got all the screws. There's only the 3 screws on there. This this should lift apart. Let the fun begin. And I thought that Bose was bad. Impossible. Oh, there's another screw in here. So the bottom plate has to come off first, looks like. And that looks like it slides forward. Looks like this pushes forward, and then it should lift off. Probably best to undo these before they get damaged. But yeah, it looks like this should push forward and lift off. Well, it looks that way, but something's holding it. More studying this thing to see how it opens. That should just slide forward. Maybe it just needs a little bit of coaxing here and there. There we go. Okay, that comes off. And now I can remove this screw at the back, and then I should be able to remove the top cover. I don't know if you guys can see what's going on there, but now the top cover should lift off. Well, you think anyway. I'll remove these 2 clips. I'm just going to mark which side of them goes to where. Just mark the side that goes to the actual deck itself, and pop out the little clips, little retainers, so I can remove them. Okay, now those are out of the way. I don't have to worry about them getting broken. What's next? What holds the rest of this thing together? Oh, it just slides out just like that. Okay, now I've got the. Oh yeah, I think it's all gummed up here. I wonder if I can just pull this tray out. Something is jammed up here good. I can see the remnants of the belt are all wrapped around here. That's probably what's one of the things that's sticking it is that. The gooed up belt. I'm just going to carefully take the tray out so so I can time this mechanism, because I think that's the problem, is the mechanism's out of time. And the belt all chewed up here didn't help matters. If I get this all the way out, then I should be able to reset it and reattach the mechanism. Put the tray back in. Holding this now. I think it's these clips here holding it in place. I gotta lift these up, and then this should pump out the rest of the direction out. This should pump the rest of the way out, I think. Oh, geez, that screw's in the way. Oh, that'll do it every time. That screw is sticking up now. There. Okay. All right. Now I got the mechanism down. This lever, okay, so this turns in like this. Yuck. Buddy, belts turn to mush. Got to pull that little pulley out somehow, because there's the belt that's wound up down below. Wonderful. Yuck. Stuff is disgusting. Okay, now that lifts out. Now I can clear out the crap that's in here. See, what happens is when the tray goes in, once the tray gets all the way in, it kicks this over, and then that raises up the mechanism. And when you eject it, it goes down like that, and then the gear will now kick the tray out. So there'll be in here, there'll be a release that pin slides through right there. It was hitting up against the side. So I think somebody tried to pull this thing apart before I got it. So we'll just get the remnants of the old belt out of here. Great. Drop it on the floor, on the ground, so that I'll track it into the house, and then I'll get it. Okay, get my Q-tip here somewhere that I use for cleaning the other laser, and we'll wipe out this disgusting mess that's in here. Okay, and then the same for what remains in this groove on the pulley is. All right, I got the pulley sort of clean. We'll put some grease in here. Let me get my grease gun out, which is basically just a tube of grease with a nozzle on it. We'll put a bit of grease into the gears here, because it never hurts to lubricate things that slide around a bit. Don't want to put too much in there, but a little bit of grease never hurt anything. All right, let's put the pulley back in place. I think that came out like that, didn't it? Like that. There we go. Okay. That works. Get some grease on those gears. Find a belt that will fit on here. And it just so happens that I might just happen to have one that right here that will just fit in here perfectly. This is just a belt that I had kicking around, but I think that belt probably will do the job. All right. So this is open now. If I slide the tray back in, it should go into place. And that should do it. Hopefully that will do it. Although I need this, if I pull the slide back here, can I pull the slide back? Probably not. I'm going to have to apply power probably to it to do that, but I guess now it should still open. If I push this shut, it should try to lift the mechanism like that. Now I should be able to pull the slide back like that and raise the mechanism up. Perfect. Okay, that part is now working. So if I do that and then pull this out, I should be able to mount this back onto this base. Oh, wait a minute, I can't mount it on the base yet. I gotta put the top back on. Gotta put the top on and the bottom, and then I can mount it back onto the base. So let's just close this up for now. And we'll bring this back. Probably don't want that up. Let's just take that down. Slide this in. Like that. And then there's some screws that go in. The bottom plate goes on. There's a screw that goes in through here. It goes in through there. And then this bottom cover goes on. There. All right, now there was a couple more screws that held this together, and the one for the ground wire. And then this mounted into the base. But I got to get the straps under here first, because they went through here, if I'm not mistaken. This sits on the base like this. I guess I can put the straps through after. Alright, put these three screws back through here to hold this in place on the base. Watch the belt I put in, bloody good. I think it's got enough torque. It's not a new belt, but it's not shot. If I have to, I'll be able to get it apart because it's not jammed anymore. And now we got the two cables that go on here and go out the back here. This one comes in here. Picked up a couple new little pieces of equipment today. I couldn't resist. I'll be sharing those with you when I get to them. It won't be long. I'll give you a little sneak peek here in a minute. Just a couple of things I'll be checking out. I don't know if they work or not. The guy I got them from couldn't tell me whether they work or not, but I'll give you a sneak peek of what I've got to work on. So I have a couple Sony Pro video equipment. This one is a 3/4 inch U-matic, and this one is a Betacam SP, full broadcast. This one's a VO9800, and this one's a BVW75. I have no idea what condition they're in. I got them for a song. Essentially, they were free. Didn't cost me anything for these. So, I mean, I had to pay for them, but I did some transfer work for a guy, and what he paid me for the transfer of his home videos to digital more than covered what I paid for these. So they were essentially free. Just guy picks up his tapes and hands me some money, and I turn around and give it to the guy that was selling these. I do know that they turn on, and that is all I know, is that they turn on, because I bought them untested. And that's why I got them for what I got them for. Had them been tested and knowing to be working, they probably would have gone for a fair bit of money each. But that's beside the point. I've got them here. Hopefully there's not too much wrong with them, and I'll be able to get them working, and we'll be dealing with that on a future video. I was more interested in this one than the Betacam SP, because I have a working Betacam SP. I do have some 3/4 inch machines, but they are extremely old and very long in the tooth. You see the Panasonic, what was it? It's a NV9800. This is a VO9800. But you see the NV9800 on my opening, and it works. The problem is the mechanism itself is pretty worn, and I got to help it to load and unload a tape. I actually have to help the loading arm move into position and unload. Every time I load and unload a tape, I have to actually physically turn it by hand, because the loading belt is so sloppy on it, and I just haven't been able to source them. It's a really heavy, thick belt, but I haven't been able to source one that size. I've been looking for one for a while, and I haven't had any luck. So when I use it, I just help it along. Hopefully this one here will be in better shape, and these ones you can still get belts and stuff for. I know that because I've changed them. Loading belt and so forth, and fast forward rewind belt. That's where I can get them from. All right, back to this device. Let's plug it in and see if it does anything. Got some plugs to plug into it. At least they're all keyed. They only go into one place. And now I can drop this unit back into its dock, like that, and get the screws back in to hold it in place. Put the last screw in, and then put the two plugs back into the board. All right, let's see if it works. Sticking a bit, but it opens. I'm sure that the belt that's in there is probably not the right exact belt, but it works. I think probably there's some residue still from the old belt too that's going to have to work its way through, because I couldn't get it all 100%. There's going to be a little bit of gum of it, but it will work its way through, I'm sure. Is it going to read? Well, it's skipping. Clean the disc off a bit. Probably wouldn't have hurt it to dust that laser off while I had it apart, but it's easy enough to get into there again if I need to, now that the thing is has been opened. It takes a while to read the table of contents on these drives. Okay, it's now read the table of contents. Well, that's better. The disc was all dusty. That would certainly explain why it wasn't reading properly. Oh, I heard a bit of a skip there. Maybe I will give this thing a blast of compressed air just to see if there's any dust in there that needs to be blown off. Although this disc is, as you can see, it's pretty beat up. It's not a very good disc. I will try doing a recording on here, but I'm getting somewhere. I had nothing when I started. This one wouldn't play at all, and it was just all dusty and dirty. This one here wouldn't open because the belt was shot. We've made progress, so at least I guess I'm getting there. I think if I want to pull the drive out just to check it, I can probably do it a lot easier now that because the disc tray is open. I can access the screws and just pull the actual deck out without having to pull apart the entire mechanism like I did before. So let's just lift the transport out. I want to clean up that belt again because it is picking up residue from what was remaining in the groove of the pulley, which I couldn't get at. Okay, screws come out much easier with the transport out, and then I can just lift this entire unit right out without having to do anything else. I have to take out that ground screw, but the other ones that are on the side here, I can just unplug these. I don't have to remove the rest of the ribbon cables or everything. I can just do them right here. See, that's how easy it is to take the deck out when you're able to open the tray. There's this button on the side here that you can push in to push the tray open, but the problem was it was jammed because the person that had this before me obviously was fiddle farting around with it trying to get into it. I'll pop this apart again. I'm going to wipe off that lens and clean up that belt a little more. Now that we know how to get into it, it's pretty simple. So at this point it's just the 3 screws. And then this piece, you just give it a bit of a nudge. And that piece lifts off. One more screw. this transport will just, and then we'll pull the tray out, push the button in here. Where the hell is that button? It was on this side over here. We're going to push this button in here. Where was it? It was right here. And then pull the tray out a little bit. I just do that just to undock the magnet from the top, and then this whole system will just slide right out. This whole tray will just slide out. Just like that. Now, I can clean off the laser, which does not look to be dirty, but this is where you see the belt is sticking. So I'm just going to give the belt a bit of a clean with some isopropyl, and it'll take off the sheen that's on it, because you can see it's sticking because the residue rubber that was inside the groove, which I couldn't get. Wipe off the laser. You notice I'm not putting any cleaner or anything on here. That's because you don't want to put any alcohol or anything on there. It could delaminate. There's a coating on the lens, and it could take that coating off. So you don't want to put anything on there. Just wipe it. I'm just going to clean off this belt, because as you can see, just from this belt making contact with this pulley, it's going to pick up a lot of debris from it. So we can get this cleaned off, and hopefully it won't continue to pick stuff up. The problem with these, when these pulleys get belts melting into them, it's very hard to get them clean. That's a bit better already. Looks like it's a BSL motor on this. Looks like it's a BSL motor. Yeah. That's a good motor on here. It's a BSL type motor, it looks to be. Not the irregular cheap little CD player type motor. So I'm going to put this back together again. I see it just slides in just like that. This is how fast it would be to change the belt had it not melted, and had somebody else not try to take it apart. I'll do a recording on a CDRW disc. This supports both CDR and CDRW, so we'll try a recording on a CDRW disc, as I've got a few of those, about I think 50. And then the whole transport just drops back in, just like that. Pretty slick. 3 screws hold it in place. reading table of contents. There we go. I go get a CDRW disc. We'll try making some recordings on this and see what it does. We have an 80-minute CDRW. I can make a copy of it from this disc. This will make a high-speed copy, I think. So let's try that, just for the hell of it. I haven't figured out how this thing works yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll do a high-speed copy because I see dubbing, normal, and high. So I'll wait for it to finish loading up the disc and load this one. And if I hit high-speed dubbing, let's try high-speed dubbing. All track high-speed dub. Let me press this in. Press the multi-track, press the multi-jog button in. It's checking the tracks. Okay. So it's now going through and checking all the tracks. You see here, it's now track check. So it's going to check to see whether it will fit on this other disc. And when it finishes checking the tracks, it should start the dub up. There we go. And it says record pause. Do I hit the pause button? Or hit the play button? Oh, I guess that's it. There we go. The tape counter's going, or the counter's going twice the speed. So we'll let this record. We'll see how this does. Once it's done, I'll finalize it. So we'll just let it sit here and make a copy. And it's telling me it's dub high speed, track 1, digital in, sync. Cool. We'll see if it works. A unit like this, being a professional, it says so right there, professional CD recorder, does not recognize DRM. You can turn it off. It doesn't have serial copy management as far as I know. But it's making pretty good progress here. It's only been going for about 10 minutes, I guess, so far, and it's already on track 8. So this being an 80-minute disc, it should be able to copy this disc in 40 minutes, I guess? It's an 80-minute disc, so now we're almost halfway through. So I'll just let it continue, and we'll finalize the disc and make sure everything works. It's got a meter here. It tells you the levels. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it does have a meter. Not as pretty as the meter on my Tascam. Now that's a work of art, my Tascam DVD recorder, or CD recorder, I should say. It's a work of art, but it looks like everything can be done using the jog dial and the buttons on the front. You don't need a remote, which is good. You can finalize right from here, probably erase the disc from here as well. I know I can on the Tascam. The Tascam, of course, you've seen that. That's a slot load, but this thing, as I say, it's such a good deal. I could not pass this one up. $20 is what I paid for this. This is mine, but I got it for $20. For $20, I could not pass up this deal. Looking down from the top, the layout of this is excellent, and the construction appears to be very good. Right, single layer circuit board, which I was surprised. I expected that it would have a double layer board like most stuff, but this is a single layer board. I think probably a lot of it is probably taking place on the drive here itself. Like I see audio cables going in the side, so I think probably for playback the DA converter is probably internal on the drive. But it's got XLR inputs on it. What it has for inputs and outputs on it has unbalanced inputs and balanced analog inputs. It has a separate output for the CD player and one that will work with the CD and the CDRW or CDR drive. So it has one that'll play both, one that just plays the CD output, analog input, balanced analog inputs. It's got a coaxial and an optical input, for recording digitally, and it has 2 sets of optical and coaxial outputs, one for the CD player and the other one for the CDR. So it's got plenty of inputs and outputs for connecting it to various different equipment. But again, looking at the build quality of it, this side looks to be more like a conventional CD player, but I can't really see anything that's really looks to be out of place. It's 2004, so this is 20 years old, this machine. I doubt it has a lot of hours on it, and I fully expect that the recording will be fine, and that this thing just failed because it was sitting around forever. I mean, all the dust that was on here, this thing probably hasn't been used in 15 years, maybe longer. It's just been sitting around somewhere collecting dust. Okay, the recording is finished. I think I can push the finalize button on here. It says finalize OK. I'll do that. It's going to take about 2 minutes to finalize the disc, and then we'll take the disc out and put it in the other player and see if it works, because this should play, it better play CDRW. One thing I do not like about it is the location of that power switch. That is a real strange place for a power switch. Normally you think of them on one side or the other. Having it right there, your hand almost heads for that when you go to hit the open close button if you're not careful. It's just in a bad place. At least my Tascam, it's got a switch that it's hard to switch it off. Like you can turn it on, but you gotta work at turning it off. Okay, this says complete, so if I hit the play button, there it is. So the recording is good. We'll just pop the nose piece on here, and I'll just take the disc and put it on the other side, and we'll see that this one will play it. It should play it. What? It doesn't like CDRW? There it goes. So it plays CDRWs as well. Now, some of the other neat features of this machine is, from what I understand, and I don't know how it works, so we will see, but it apparently has relay playback. There it is, a button that says relay play. So if I click that, relay mode, relay play, mix play, dual play, single play. So relay play will play one, and then when one disc is done, it'll play the other one. Mix play, I think it switches, and then dual play, single play. So we'll try mix play and just see what happens. It should switch from one to the other, actually. I'm not 100% sure how it worked, but I think it does that. I may have done this wrong. Let's stop it. Let's try that again. Dual play, single play, relay play. I think I gotta push this button. Maybe that's how it works. I should really look up the manual. Relay play. Or is it this one? Mix play? Is that what you push? I really don't know how this works. We'll try that. I would expect it goes to the other one when it's done, but I could be wrong. Timer play. SCMS setup. There you go, see? Inhibit. You can set it up. Let's go back to that, where's that setup mode, was it? SCMS set. Enable or inhibit. Enable. Cool. You can set all that up. Anyway, I'll have to do some reading to figure out how this works, but it's working. It's It's playing, it's recording. Turn it loud. It made a high-speed recording of the disc. Now if I, whoops, don't want to do that. I wanted to stop it. I was going to try to, I want to see how I can erase the disc on here. Now that it's been finalized, there should be a way to erase or unfinalize the disc and wipe it. Optical in, coaxial in, unbalanced in, and CD player in, optical in, coaxial in, analog unbalanced, and analog balanced in. So you have to switch for your inputs. To set this thing up, menu mode, setup mode. Oh, here we go, CDRW edit. Okay, so CDRW edit, CDRW erase. Okay, all erase, table of contents erase. So there it is. So how did I find that? Let's just see if I can find it again. It's menu, it was menu mode, setup, menu. Okay, there. So there it came up after that. That didn't show up before. I've been through this. That never came up before. Oh well, there it is. CDRW erase, all erase, erase OK, and it erases it. Cool. Okay, I'm going to try recording from an analog. I just wanted to do that and see if it'll wipe the disc and I can reuse it. I know on my Tascam, when I do a full erase, it takes time. Like it doesn't do it right away. It actually has to sit there and overwrite the disc, and it takes it like, I don't know, 20 minutes. Anyway, once the disc's erased, I can reuse it again, and that's the beauty of CDRW. Is you can play around with things and make a recording, and then once you're happy with it, then you make a permanent copy. That's be good use for a unit like this. Make a disc that you want, and then take the disc and throw it in the playback side and make a permanent copy onto a CDR. But I know this stuff's old school, right? Everyone says, physical media is dead. Well, I don't think so. Physical media is not dead. Actually, you're making a comeback, in case you haven't been following what's been going on. Just like vinyl has made a comeback, CD is now coming back. Oh, look, it says it's complete. Blank disc. So let's just plug some analog inputs. I want to see what it does. So I'll select my input. Optical in, coaxial in, unbalanced. Okay, so that should be giving me my unbalanced input. I think probably I push record. It'll put it into record pause. Okay, there we go. Now if I go into... okay. Now this becomes my analog input, you see. We don't want to obviously go into the red. So let me just start this up. Having a hard time pushing the buttons on this thing. I'll let this one record, and we'll play it back. I wonder what happens if I turn this while it's recording. Oh, look. I can turn the record level up and down through the multi-jog. I'm only going to record the one track, and then we'll erase it, because just verifying that everything's working like it's supposed to. Now I know recording on digital audio tape is cool, but I don't know, I just happen to think recording onto a disc is just as cool, if not cooler, because it involves lasers. You're involving a laser. Anytime you involve a laser, it's cool. And I'm only going to do the one track, so stop. It says now PMA record. And I've recorded one track, 4 minutes and 47 seconds. And I can play it back. And there we go. That works. And again, if I wanted to finalize, I could just hit the finalize button and it would say finalize OK, and we'd be finalizing the disc, so it'll play at another machine, but we're not going to bother with that. I'm going to go back to menu, and I'm going to go back to Is it CDRW edit? I'm just going to say erase. I'll erase because I don't need anything else on the disk. We know it works, so I'm going to close the video off now. Thanks for watching. There you go. Denon CD Recorder DNCR550R. I picked this up for 20 bucks on Facebook. I think I got a good deal. What do you guys think? We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.